off day. We're at the Crown Plaza Resort Saipan, joined with the DOC Commissioner, but he's not talking with us in that capacity. We're interviewing you today as the chair of Marianas Rai Corporation.
Yes, Tomas, yes.
So thanks for joining us. Yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you, Tomas, for having me. So I'm here as chairman of Marianas Rai Corporation, but also as a local boy, born and raised here in Saipan, in our Northern Marianas, and also as a fellow member of our community, someone deeply committed to the future we are shaping together. So as chairman of MRC, I will ensure good governance, guide the company's strategic direction, foster stakeholder relationships, and support innovative growth. I'm also charged with developing a digital ecosystem here in the Northern Mariana Islands, like engaging with other companies in the digital space to include cryptocurrency and blockchain. So yeah, I'm here. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
And so for people who might just know you through the news, how does a corrections professional end up in a space like Marianas Rai Corp and now the controversial MUSD out of Tinian? I mean, how did you find yourself in this digital space here at home?
Well, first off, I guess I gotta start from the beginning and how everything started. I'll talk a little bit about what got me into the space, into blockchain and crypto. So I've been in this space since 2018, late 2018. I got into crypto. I started learning about blockchain and crypto, and I started, like many others, learning about Bitcoin. I fell in the rabbit hole. I mean, I started learning about the monetary system, the banking system, finance. I learned about Bitcoin as an asset as well. Digital gold, there can only be 21 million and all of that. So I did all that. I fell in the rabbit hole, and I guess fast forward to about 2021, summer 2021, I brought my wife and my son back here to Saipan to visit. And this was at the end of COVID. So we came, we were sequestered in a hotel room for 5 days, and then we spent about 3.5 weeks here with family. And when I look back to that time, I mean, it was now, given the fact that I've been away for over 30 years, I come back frequently to visit and whatnot. I remember growing up where this place was bustling, right, with tourists, and then to come at the end of COVID where it was just so depressing, right? Things were businesses were closed down, and it was real depressing, right? I also knew that prior to coming out here, there was something just kept telling me, you know what, you got to come back home. I couldn't put my finger on it. Well, right before heading out here and flying out and bringing my wife and son out here, I connected with who became a really good friend of mine, also a mentor, Vin Armani. And we connected because I found out he was out here. He moved out here with his family. He was well known in the industry, in the space, right? So we connected. When I came out that summer. I met his family. We became good friends, and how fast. And then about a couple weeks later, into our visit, I was having lunch with my wife, and I said, "Hey, babe, we're gonna move back here. We have to." At first, she was like, "Okay, all right." She didn't really know what was going on. She thought I was being a little impulsive, and she was like, anything to support you." And okay, we go back to Arizona, back to work, back to the routine. I thought I could shake it off, right? But I just couldn't shake it off. I couldn't shake the fact that I needed to come back home. And along that time, I think it was about a whole year, that time Vin and I, we stayed in contact. And we were coming up with some things, and I knew that I'm a big fan of the technology, right? And I was like, hey, we need to do it here. We need to find a way to bring it here to our Commonwealth, right? We need to get things going again. And from there, and also I want to add that that made a huge part of it. But there were three pieces as to what brought me back home. And I say this all the time, right? God brought me back home for three reasons. The first is to help take care of my aging parents. The second is to be of service to our people. And the third, to make an impact, right? And I went back from that whole year of not being able to shake it off. We were coming into summer 2022, and my wife was like, hey, you know what? Go back home for 3 weeks and make the decision. I was like, okay. So I came back home by myself. After about a week and a half, I called my wife up and I said, hey, we're coming back home. We're gonna move. So that's when we started the process. And that summer of 21, I made the decision to come back home, and we came back in December of 2022, right? That summer of 2022, and then December 2022, we came back. We put our house on the rental market. We did all that. I locked in my retirement and uprooted my family, and we came back. And I was encouraged to submit my resume for the DOC commissioner gig, and I did, and the rest is history with that part. But everything with MRC never stopped, right? It was always a vision. It was a goal. It was something that I truly believed in, right? And I part of that vision is just making our CNMI a global hub of the Pacific for blockchain and financial innovation, right, with the technology. It was to develop and establish a vibrant digital ecosystem right here. By building on the technology that we're creating today, we can attract new investments, create high-quality jobs, and position the Commonwealth as a leader on the global stage. So it wasn't just more than a dream. It was a strategic vision for our community's place in the world. And with that, I helped form the team together, and I kind of want to break down the team and
sure,
talk
yeah. Who is a part of the team?
So there's a total of 10 of us, right? But I want to talk more about like the main ones right now that are like boots on the ground, right? So we got Clyde Narita. He's a former commissioner for DPS and defense. He's also a former congressman, right? And a local business owner. Then we have Blaine Goldman. Blaine has launched and commercialized innovations in the tech media and gaming industries. He's produced projects for companies like DreamWorks, Disney, Sony, Warner Brothers, DirecTV, Nickelodeon, and many others. His big thing was skill-based games and video game gambling, right? So Blaine and his wife last year, to be exact, moved out here from Dubai, and they also got married here, right? They both completed the 500 sails traditional sailing and voyaging class together. And Blaine is a volunteer of the Saipan Humane Society. And this is the CEO of our company, right? He's here, he wants to learn the culture, and he's a resident, right? He's like, this is his home. And then we have Vin Armani, who's everybody knows about, right? He's a CTO, the Chief Technology Officer. He's an industry respected Bitcoin developer, entrepreneur, and economics author. So Vin has been out here for over 5 years, right? He moved his wife and 2 little girls out here. He's been a judge in the last few youth coding application challenges. And he also co-founded the Marianas Trade Council. Then we have George Rover. George Rover is a senior regulatory advisor. He retired from government after 26 years as a deputy attorney general and then assistant attorney general with the New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety. This included roles as assistant attorney general and special assistant to the director of the New Jersey Division of Gaming Enforcement. Later, George was appointed deputy director of the division and placed in charge of its Atlantic City office. He was also the director of the Responsible Gambling Affiliate Association and an advisor to governments such as Bermuda on gaming matters. Then we have Ian Smith. Ian Smith, he's our chief regulatory officer and current commissioner of the Esports Integrity Commission, which oversees and enforces global integrity for all esports activities, including the government of Saudi Arabia. He's a former head of integrity for the PGA European Tour and former chief operating officer for the Federation of International Cricketers Association. It's one of the largest sports organizations in the world. Ian is highly respected in the international gambling, regulatory, and integrity space. And then we have Steve Berman. Steve Berman is an accomplished veteran of the regulated gaming industry with over 25 years of experience. He began his career in '97 when there were only 6 online casinos. Over the course of his career, he has been the brainchild of multiple successful gaming products, including real-time gaming, deep stacks, poker, iGames Entertainment, and the World Poker Tour, which everybody's really familiar with. So that's the gist of the team, the main. I mean, the other 3 or 4 individuals are the tech pieces, the coders, the developers.
I want to ask you because
Sure.
you list a lot of their credentials, but there's still some sentiment in the community that I don't buy it, right? I mean, what do you have to say to those people when you outline just how experienced the team is and the major projects they've worked on? What do you say to those who are still skeptical?
Well, I guess I asked them to trust and know that this is a locally based CNMI, a locally owned company, right, with local owners, and the same way that I've demonstrated my leadership experience here in the last 3 years is the same way that I'm going to drive our strategic mission forward and our vision in MRC and making this one day the tech hub of the Pacific, right? And also inviting and wanting this place to be a better place for all of us. Right? I say that in inviting each and every one of our people to be a part of this, right? And we're going to move forward. And we're going to do a lot of outreach and educating our community, right? We want to help lay the foundation for future generations here in the CNMI. I'm not sure if that really makes sense, but we want to make this better. We imagine a Commonwealth where a vast majority of our people live in prosperity, right? Where every voice is heard and everybody has a seat at the table. But
And we all know the update with the MUSD. The issue about the law that created it is currently in before a certified question, right, to the Supreme Court here in the CNMI. Is there any update you want to share with that?
Sure. The update I have with that is Tinian, MRC, and the Attorney General have agreed to stay the case and withdraw the injunction motion against MRC. So the Tinian Mayor and the Attorney General will instead submit a certified question to the Supreme Court to decide the issue. This is not a lawsuit. This is a cordial process that any 2 elected or appointed officials can do when there is a question about constitutionality of a law. We believe this is how it should have been handled in the first place.
All right, and one of the people who expressed some skepticism was also Governor Arnold Palacios. I'm sure you've seen the interview I did with him where he said, "Who are these people? Did we vet them?" But here you are, a member of his cabinet, the chair of Marianas Rai Corp. I mean, what's your comment on that? That the governor questioned, the integrity of the organization that you're ahead of, and you happen to be in his cabinet.
Those are all facts in terms of me being in his cabinet, but I want to preface with this, Tomas, that I'm here as a local community member, chairman of MRC. I have skin in the game. I'm one of the owners of the company. I'm not here as a cabinet member. I'm not here as a DOC commissioner. And I'm here on my lunch break speaking with you, so it's not on government time. But I need to be respectful. Our culture is embedded. We have there's respect. I believe in respect, and I think it's best if I not answer that question. I mean, I've been nothing but transparent from day one. And just so everybody knows, and the community knows, that I've been a part of this since 2021, right? From before I was a commissioner, before I was an appointed official. And when I came back home and I was, I had the honor of being appointed commissioner for the Department of Corrections, we continued that conversation. We continued, we educated, and it started with the first conversation that we had was with my father, former Congressman Anthony Torres. We started with that, and we continued to outreach and educate in some of our policymakers, right? At the end of the day, this is how I look at it, right? It's like, what's anybody else doing? What's anybody else doing to bring more businesses here? What's anybody else doing to make this better, to make this place better? We're in a crisis, Tomas. It's no secret. And I like to refer to this to the quote by Theodore Roosevelt, "The man in the arena." We are in the arena. We're doing whatever it takes to make things better, right? Yeah, we're gonna make a little bit of money off of fees, but we're not. Before we as a company even make $1 million, the CNMI is going to make $3 million, right? So this whole project could be. It's either going to be one of two things: wildly successful or zero, right? We're not entitled to any compensation, right? We're not saying, hey, we're going to do this, give us a couple million up front. No. This is a private-public partnership, right? We're like, hey, we have systems in place. The technology is immutable, auditable. Anybody can go online and look at all the transactions. I mean, this is the future. This is it. I mean, especially with Trump's executive order in January, and we're leading the way. And I think this is something to be super proud of. And I also want to say to all our lawmakers who stuck their necks out and believed in us. They are the individuals in the arena too. They're in the arena because what else do we have, right? What else? I'm committed to making this happen, and I'm not giving up, and I will work hard every day to help make our lives better here, right? And I say what are some of the top 2 or 3 things that's really struggling, right? Our healthcare system, right? The medical referral, that whole system, right? That hurts me. Our monomco and our youth, right? What can we do to make this better, right? I imagine one day where people are coming here for medical tourism, where we don't have to send out anybody else to Hawaii or Guam on referrals, when they can just get their care here. I imagine NMC becoming NMU one day, right? I see this place thriving again. And I want it to be where everybody can be a part of this too, right? Yeah.
All right, that's all the questions. I did want to ask, what is next for MRC? And I know we're all waiting for the court to do its part, but what do you see as the future of it?
MRC can be a vehicle or a tool to help bring prosperity here. I see that. I envision MRC to be doing that, right? I see great things happening here. I mean, it's really hard to say, right? I can say the vision, and we can have this vision, but I can definitely say this, that we have a team of individuals who believe in that same vision to make things happen. So it's just getting through this little hurdle, but I invite everyone to be a part of this, to learn about it, and to see where we're headed. I mean, we want everybody to be a part of this, right?
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Tomas.